Imagine a world without your morning coffee. For billions, it's a non-negotiable ritual, a jolt of clarity, a silent companion. But this humble brew is far more than just a drink, it's a forgotten architect of human civilization. Throughout history, one ordinary cup sat quietly behind some of the biggest turning points, fueling revolutions, building empires, and rewiring the very fabric of human thought, work, and gathering. Almost no one noticed its profound influence. This is the story of how coffee moved from a forbidden substance to the engine of entire economies, and how a simple cup reshaped politics, productivity, and human connection across centuries. Our story begins in the ancient highlands of Ethiopia, sometime around the 9th century. A goat herder named Kaldi noticed something peculiar. His flock, after nibbling on the bright red berries of a particular tree, became unusually energetic, dancing and frolicking late into the night. Intrigued, Kaldi tried the berries himself. He felt a newfound alertness, a vibrancy that chased away fatigue. He shared his discovery with the abbot of a local monastery, who initially condemned the berries as the devil's work. But desperate to stay awake during long, arduous nightly prayers, the abbot brewed a drink from them. The result was miraculous. Word of this energizing beverage, which they called kawa, meaning that which prevents sleep, spread slowly. By the 15th century, coffee had journeyed across the Red Sea to Yemen, where it found a new home among Sufi mystics. These spiritual ascetics, driven by a quest for deeper devotion, discovered that coffee allowed them to prolong their meditations, enhancing their focus and keeping them alert through hours of prayer. It was a tool for spiritual enlightenment, a secret passed within their secluded communities, treasured for its ability to sharpen the mind and ward off slumber, transforming spiritual practice. As coffee's popularity grew, it moved beyond the monastery walls. The first public coffee houses began to emerge in the bustling cities of the Arabian Peninsula, particularly in Mecca and Medina. These were not just places to drink a bitter brew, they were vibrant social hubs, centers of conversation, poetry, and chess. People gathered to exchange news, discuss politics, and simply enjoy the stimulating company. Coffee offered a unique kind of communal intoxication, one that sharpened the mind rather than dulling it, fostering an unprecedented environment for intellectual exchange and social bonding. But this new public sphere, fueled by coffee's stimulating effects, quickly drew the suspicion of authorities. Rulers feared the uncontrolled discussions and potential for dissent that blossomed within these coffee houses. In 1511, in Mecca, a council of religious and legal scholars convened to debate coffee's legality. They declared it an intoxicating substance, forbidden by Islamic law, and ordered the closure of all coffee houses and the destruction of coffee stores. This was a clear attempt to suppress the new forms of social interaction and critical thought that coffee facilitated, seeing it as a threat to established order and control. Despite the bans, coffee's appeal was too strong. Its journey continued north, reaching the mighty Ottoman Empire. In 1517, Sultan Selim I, during his conquest of Egypt, discovered coffee and brought it back to Istanbul. The Ottoman court quickly embraced the drink, leading to the establishment of the world's first professional coffee makers. Coffee became intertwined with Ottoman culture, a refined pleasure enjoyed in palaces and eventually, in elegant public coffee houses that proliferated across the empire. The very same drink feared for sparking dissent was now a symbol of imperial sophistication and social grace. However, even within the Ottoman Empire, coffee's power to foment discussion remained a double-edged sword. Successive sultans, like Murad IV in the 17th century, viewed coffee houses as hotbeds of sedition. The lively debates and critiques of authority made them a direct challenge to absolute rule. Murad IV notoriously disguised himself to spy on citizens, personally executing those caught drinking coffee in public. The sheer number of bans and their ferocity underline how deeply rulers feared the rewired human connection and political discourse that this ordinary drink enabled, challenging their control over public opinion. By the early 17th century, coffee had reached Europe, initially arriving in Venice through bustling trade routes with the Ottoman Empire. Venetian merchants, familiar with exotic goods, introduced the dark, aromatic beverage. Initially, it faced skepticism, even being denounced by some Catholic priests as the bitter invention of Satan. They urged Pope Clement VIII to ban it for Christians, fearing its perceived Islamic origins and stimulating effects. This tension between fear and fascination would define coffee's early days on the continent, as a new cultural force battled old prejudices and religious anxieties. In 1600, Pope Clement VIII was presented with a sample of coffee by his advisors, who sought his condemnation. Before issuing a decree, the Pope decided to taste it himself. Legend says he found the drink so delicious and invigorating that he declared, "Why, this Satan's drink is so delicious that it would be a pity to let the infidels have exclusive use of it. We shall fool Satan by baptizing it." With the Pope's personal blessing, coffee was officially deemed acceptable for Christians. This pivotal moment opened the floodgates, paving the way for coffee's widespread adoption across Catholic Europe, transforming it from a forbidden, foreign brew to a celebrated staple. With papal approval, coffee rapidly spread. By the mid-17th century, London was home to its first coffee houses. Unlike taverns, these establishments were clean, smoke-free, and sober. For just a penny, one could enjoy a cup of coffee and engage in stimulating conversation, earning them the nickname penny universities. These were melting pots of ideas, where merchants, artists, scientists, and politicians gathered. News, gossip, and revolutionary thoughts were exchanged freely. This new form of public space facilitated the Enlightenment, fostering an environment where rational discourse and intellectual curiosity flourished, reshaping the very way people connected and learned. The role of coffeehouses as incubators of dissent became undeniably clear during the Age of Revolutions. In 18th century Paris, the vibrant café culture was a breeding ground for revolutionary fervor. Figures like Voltaire and Rousseau frequented these establishments, their radical ideas taking root and spreading amidst the clatter of cups and passionate discussions. On July 12, 1789, a young orator, Camille Desmoulins, famously jumped onto a table at the Café de Foy, calling Parisians to arms. 2 days later, the Bastille fell. The coffeehouse, once a simple gathering place, had become a pivotal stage for one of history's most profound political shifts. Across the Atlantic, coffee played a similarly crucial, though less dramatic, role in the American Revolution. Before the infamous Boston Tea Party in 1773, tea was the preferred beverage of the American colonies. But as resistance to British taxation grew, boycotting tea became a powerful act of defiance. Colonists consciously switched to coffee, transforming a daily habit into a political statement. This shift cemented coffee's place in American identity, a symbol of independence and freedom from oppressive British rule. An ordinary drink thus became a quiet yet potent weapon in the fight for a new nation. As the world entered the Industrial Revolution, coffee's influence shifted from political discourse to productivity. Factories and mills required long hours and unwavering attention. The stimulating effects of coffee provided a clear advantage over alcoholic beverages, which had previously dominated workers' breaks. Coffee became the drink of the new industrial workforce, offering sustained energy and focus, reducing accidents, and increasing output. It wasn't just a pleasant diversion, it was an economic engine, fundamentally rewiring the way humans worked and facilitating the relentless pace of industrialization, becoming the silent partner in global economic expansion. With demand skyrocketing, coffee cultivation became a massive global enterprise. European colonial powers, eager to profit, established vast coffee plantations in their colonies across South America, Africa, and Asia. Brazil, Colombia, and Indonesia became major coffee producers, often through exploitative labor practices. Coffee beans were transported across oceans, becoming a vital commodity in international trade. The drink that once brewed dissent now built colonial empires and reshaped global economies, cementing its place as one of the world's most valuable and traded goods, a testament to its silent but undeniable power. From a forbidden substance to a global commodity, coffee's journey reveals its profound economic impact. Today, it remains one of the most traded agricultural products in the world, generating billions of dollars annually and sustaining countless livelihoods. This economic powerhouse, born from a simple berry, continues to drive industries from cultivation to complex supply chains, to the vibrant global coffee shop culture. It fuels economies both large and small, demonstrating its enduring power not just as a drink, but as a fundamental pillar of global commerce. Centuries later, the quiet power of coffee continues. It's the silent hum of productivity in offices, the spark of innovation in startup hubs, and the comforting backdrop to countless personal connections. Coffee didn't just keep people awake, it kept societies awake. It brought strangers together, fermented debate, inspired revolutions, and ultimately, reshaped the very foundations of human interaction, work, and governance. From a forbidden berry in Ethiopia to the global ritual it is today, the story of coffee is a compelling testament to how something so ordinary can, in the right circumstances, secretly shape the course of history.